So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're all ready for a new high performance mindset. Let's welcome Mr. Tony Dovale.
Good morning.
Morning.
Come on. Good morning.
Morning.
Can we have one of the handhelds from the back, please? Please, everybody stand up, shake hands with one person, introduce yourself and give them one positive word about yourself. Go. Shake hands, one positive word about yourself. Go. Grab a seat and let's get rolling. I need a ticket, please. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling? There we go. This side's alive, this side's still dead. Wow. Okay, I have a copy of my book, my upcoming book, and a whole lot of other stuff. It's worth about, in cost, about 300 Rand. In value, if you do something with it, it's worth 100,000. Who wants it? If you take and apply what's in this, it's at least value 100,000. You're halfway there. You're halfway. There we go. Give a round of applause, please. So here's my question. Why didn't you guys move? She came from the back of the room. Why didn't you move? You're right here. Sorry? You didn't. And you see, here's the problem. Is we know what to do, but we don't do what we know. We talk so much, but we walk so little. Too low. Bit of volume. And so we have so much possibility and potential. But out of this whole room, one person actually came here and took the action. I found that scary. But did you notice she came and asked for permission? She didn't come and take it. She came and she waited. And so what I want to show you today is that your mindset controls everything. The fact that you didn't get out of your chair and come here tells me whether you're a leader or a follower. Why didn't you move? Do leaders wait for permission or do they beg for forgiveness? Do leaders make things happen or do they wait for things to happen? So then why are you waiting? So let's play with you. Give you some mind entertainment. I don't know what happened to my picture here. There we go. And so mindset from my perspective is the most important thing on the planet. I don't care what skill set you got. I don't care what degrees you've got. You can have a PhD and a bad attitude, and I don't want you on my team. But you can have a great attitude, a growth mindset, and be ready to learn, and then I'll have a million of you. Who believes that mindset is vital for what's coming at us? Thank you. Who believes that we have challenges coming at us in the future? Big ones. What are you doing about making sure that we have the right mindsets? We talk about skill set, and Callisto, when he sent me this advert, I said, you guys have got all this skills and training. But you know what? The biggest problem in our country is mindset, not skill set. Skills you can get anywhere. I can go online right now and get free education anywhere. You can't get that mindset that easily. And so my business, my life's philosophy is about helping people and teams create exponential results, not 5% improvement or 10% improvement, like double and triple and 10 times. And that's my intention and goal for you this morning, is to challenge you. How do we create exponential impact and results for people, planet, and profit? Who's in a business whose prime business is making profit? Main focus. So few. Is there much soul in that goal, really? Do you wake up in the morning and say, yay, I'm going to make some more profit for my company? You know, and that's part of the challenge, is we don't have meaning at work. When all of the team building and the leadership development, most people are there just for the money. There's no meaning in what the companies are doing. But there are others that are doing amazing stuff. I did work with the Office of the Public Protector. There are guys there in the public sector are earning whatever they earn. In the private sector, they could double it. I tried to steal a guy. And he said, I love what I do so much, I would do it for nothing. He had meaning, and he had the right mindset. And so my whole goal is to stretch your possibility to create and achieve amazing results. These are some of the guys that we worked with. Government departments, 200 million to 800 million, working only with mindsets. So if you want to improve performance, pump up your productivity, and get sustainable results, talk to us about the mindset stuff. I was doing the research for this talk, and this came across my screen, and I got a very big fright. Can you see what the problem is? This is population growth. This is 2000. Here's Africa's population growth. Probably where we are about 2016, 2050, 2100, and 40, 12, 11. Hell, I'm trying. But look here. The projection was about $1.8 billion by there. But the new numbers are showing us that we're probably going to have close to 4 billion souls in Africa. Yes. We are falling out of a plane without a parachute. It is coming. We're not going to grow more resources. We don't going to have more land. We're not going to have more water. We're not going to have more anything. Unless we change how we think and act, we are in for big trouble, bigger than you ever imagined. That's why a shift in mindset is going to be so important to completely transform how you show up and how we use the resources in the world. I am a billionaire, by the way. I'm a cash billionaire. But there are lots of people in the world that are billionaires, but they are beggars. Right above us, just north, one country. That's a real note. $100 trillion. That kind of thing's coming to us, maybe, if we get to junk bond status. The challenge that we have, and we heard the people talking yesterday, is we have all the resources, we have all the skill set, we have all the knowledge, but we are not collaborating and working together. We are not building, we are dividing, and we are breaking. And so we're going to have youngsters coming up that are struggling. They're going to ask us, what was in your head? What are your children's children going to say about what we did? How intelligent were we with our resources? I have a saying that says, life rafts don't have life rafts. You go out to the ocean, you're in a life raft, you have limited resources, water, some food. Then that runs out, you're done, you're dead. You have huge problems. In Africa we have the same, we have water issues, we have resource issues. You know, for me, water is the next World War III issue. Imagine 4 billion people on the planet fighting, 4 billion in Africa fighting for those limited resources. So from our research, I've developed a high-performance framework. There's so much that we can do to build and change and grow, but not all of it impacts the bottom lines. And so through the academic work of the High Performance Center in the Netherlands, I've taken their frameworks and built it to an African situation. And so there are 6 areas that you must address, and obviously for time I can't cover it all. I'm going to cover a few of them: the culture and the context, and some leadership. If you're a leader, please put up your hand. I'm very concerned that no all hands are up. I'm really. You're the guys that have the power, and with power comes responsibility. You're the guys that have to become the ones that make stuff happen. And so we talk about mindsets in an organization. You know, you get some people, I believe everybody brings happiness, hey? Some people bring happiness by coming into the room, some people when they leave the room. The question is, which one are you? Which one are you? Are you an insult diver, an energy thief? Or do you bring and add value and they say, wow, when you leave the room? Because you have it in you, but will you activate it? Most of us live down here. Life sucks, my life sucks, or we want to dominate. I'm great, my race is great, my religion is great, my business is great. I'm right, you wrong. Do you know why we have war? W-A-R? We are right. And so we divide, we conquer, we destroy in arrogance. Until we get to this partnership, we. There's a story about, in the snow during the war, this Russian and a German and a British guy and an Italian soldiers They meet each other by mistake whilst they're busy trying to kill each other. And they meet in the forest, but it's night now. And the snow's thick, and they're cold, and they don't have their leaders telling them to fight, so they started talking. But they've been indoctrinated. And so they've got their little bundles of wood, but there's still no trust. And so the four of them are sitting in the snow trying to keep warm, but not one of them will take the step to say, I'll put my wood in the fire first. And then you can, and then you can, and then you can. And we might have enough heat to keep us and take us through the night. You know, the next morning they found them, all four were frozen dead. We're the same in this country. We've got so much resource, but we want to keep it for us. And we're not going to create the future we want. So think about the future. What kind of future would you love to have? Just take a moment and imagine an incredible future 5 years from now. What would that look like? How would we be showing up? How would we be interacting? What kind of behaviors would we have? How would we use our resources? How would we use our relationships? How would we allow leaders with corruption and transparency and all of these things? What's one thing that you would love to be different in that future, that would be exponential in its impact? Can you get a picture? Get one action that you can take, that you have the power to take. What is one action that you have the power to take that will make that a reality? It's within your resource, within your capacity, it's within your space that you can take an action to start to create that shift. Turn around, talk to a partner and tell them, this is what I can do to make the difference. Go. 30 seconds, tell somebody next to you, behind you, this is one thing I can do to make the difference. Tell a buddy, tell a guy in front of you, tell a guy outside of you, this is one thing I can do that will absolutely make the difference. Okay, so it sounds like a good buzz in the room, hey? If you can hear me, say shh. Thank you. And so my philosophy is about fierce focus, just taking one thing, focusing fiercely, and doing it until we get the results that we're looking for. I was engaged by BHP Billiton to go and do a team change, grow, business optimization up in Hotzell, up there, far away, a day's drive. We arrived there, and before we even started the workshop, the Solidarity Union, what's the other mining union, NUMSA, or whatever the union was, they were like separate, like the Germans and the British. And you know, when I said, right, let's go, they wouldn't. They're not going into the room together. They refused to go into the room together. So eventually, after some negotiation, we managed to get over that hurdle. And we did an amazing 2-day workshop. And at the very end of the workshop, we have a closing circle where we say, what was valuable, what did you gain, and how will you use it in your life? And one of the old guys, the head of the NUMSA union thing, he stood up and he said, I discovered I've been fighting a war that doesn't exist anymore. And I thought that was profound. And the leader of the white union, a guy, Alan Sutherland, he said, my name is Alan Sutherland. He said, I don't care what union you're from, if you're from a union or not, if you've got a problem, you come to me. I will find a way to support you. If you knew what kind of impact those two comments had, and those changes in relationships had for that team and that company, it was beyond exponential. On a money level, on an emotional level, on a soul level, on a wellness level. But it needs somebody to be courageous enough to step up and say, I'll take the first step. I'll be the one. I'll risk a no. So you have the power. But will you be the one when you walk out of this room that will take the action? Somebody said yesterday, we were here a year ago talking about the same stuff. I'm tired of the same stuff talk. We need action. There's stuff coming at us. There's big stuff coming at us. If you look at on the Global Entrepreneur Monitor report, who reads the GEM report? In South Africa, entrepreneurship is down. Youth is down to like 7%. In 2 years, it's crashed. None of the youth have the mindset that they want to start a business. Ladies are involved in survival entrepreneurship, not opportunity entrepreneurship. We need ways to start those sparks, to re-engage and re-enlighten and reactivate and re-excite those people. But we need examples and leaders and opportunity, what I call baby steps. Because I'll talk, I think I've got it here. The localization. If you're going to support other people, they're going to thrive. If you knew how much cash was leaving our country from the Chinese shops around us, these centers, by the ton, container loads. So either you vote and support us or you vote and support them, but there'll be a consequence for your kids. Micronization, I work with a guy, David. Just put your hands so they can see you. David is a business strategist. He helps go into Africa, but he talks about micronization because all of these big loans, you're talking 27 million, this is big stuff. What about the little man in the street, the little lady in the street, the youngster that's trying to start a 1 or 2 or 3 man business? And so David, that's where he's doing a lot of work there. And we need to be able to activate and create a step-by-step process for the entrepreneurs to grow, because entrepreneurs are where the jobs are going to come. We have to change a lot of things to build a secure future. And so here's another test. Think about this. Are you a reasonable person or are you an unreasonable person? Turn to somebody around you, next to you, and tell them, I'm reasonable or I'm unreasonable. Turn to somebody, make the choice. Are you reasonable or you're unreasonable? Well, those that said I'm unreasonable, please stand. People look at them. Because it's the unreasonable person that's going to make the world the future that we needed. Thank you. The reasonable person is going to adapt. You're going to adapt and adapt and adapt and take and adjust and adjust. It's the boiled frog. Do you know about the boiled frog? Do you know if you take a frog, put it in cold water, and you put it on the stove and you heat it slowly, the water gets warm so the frog adjusts. Then it gets a little warmer so it adjusts because it's reasonable. Then it's like gets even warmer so it adjusts a little more. Why are you laughing? You're exactly the same. I promise you are. Because it will adjust and accommodate and adjust until it boils. It will die. Being reasonable. You have to stop being reasonable or handle the consequence. So many people complain about the consequence, but they do nothing about changing that consequence. This lady, she's 28. The world record was 90-something days, traveling around the world on one yacht on your own. Now, I go deep-sea fishing on a jet ski, and it's scary as hell on a little 3-meter jet ski 10 kilometers out. I'm like a pimple. Being right in the ocean, 2,000 kilometers away from anything. One person, you can see, she's there. This little thing there is her. Tiny. Through the use of technology and courage, and good planning, and a vision, and collaboration, she went around the world in 71 days, 14 hours. She broke all the records. A young lady of 28. Yo. Glad a man said yo. But what she discovered is because when she was planning to go, they had to calculate how much diesel, how much water, how much food, because every gram slowed her down. So she had to work out to the millimeter how much diesel, to the gram how much food. And she said on her journey she discovered how important the sustainability thinking is. And in those 71 days she completely transformed how she thought about the world and what we're doing with the resources we have. Maybe we need to each have a go and experience like that. So let's see how your brain works. Imagine you're driving with your friend, they have an accident, they cause some bad damage, really, really bad damage, maybe somebody's even killed or in hospital. The policeman comes to you and says, tell me what happened. Do you lie to protect your friend, or do you tell 100% absolute truth? They're your good buddy. They're your buddy. Turn around, tell the person next to you, I'll tell the truth or I'll lie. Tell Tell the person, I tell the truth or I lie. Okay, if you can hear me, shh. I'm not going to ask you to tell me what your choice you made. But I heard somebody evade the issue to say, I didn't see anything, I was asleep. Is that a leader statement? Do you want him on your team? We need to renegotiate. And so my question to you is very simple. Are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? Are you? By those answers that you gave to those questions, I might have to challenge you on some of those things. You might look in the mirror and say, I'm part of the solution, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're not, and that's my intention, to wake you up, to get you to really think. We can't have a 10% improvement. We need a 10 million and 10%. And so let's talk about mindset, because if we're going to disrupt, and time is flying, we have to come from a new approach. Same old is not going to work for us. Who knows about learned helplessness? Wow. Do you know that if you take a dog, put it in a cage, and shock it, where it can't move, it has to take the shock, eventually, very quickly, some dogs, it will learn that I can't do anything, so it just stands and accepts it. They then take that same dog, they put a divider in, so if the dog wanted to, it could jump out of the shock onto safe. And at least 85% of the dogs just stand taking the shock. Because they've been taught, their brain has learned, doesn't matter what I do, nothing will change. More than 90% of people I find in business today, when I do my work, have learned helplessness. It's not their fault, it's the way the brain works. They have to find a way around. Who's ever seen a big elephant at the circus? They're standing, a big elephant can pick, an elephant's as strong as 100 people. They're standing with a little rope holding them. Do you think if the elephant wanted to, it could go? Why doesn't it? It's learned helplessness. Maybe you got learned helplessness. You think you're doing your best, but maybe you're only doing 10% of your best. I'm challenging you to step up. When they were doing the test of the elephant, how strong is an elephant, they got 100 people, or 110, and they did tug of war, and they discovered about 110 people can hold the elephant. One guy stood up and said, I think we can do better. We work together, we collaborate, we synergize our energy, we can do better. He was the leader. He stood. Nobody told him, nobody asked him, he decided, he stepped up. Do you know, with 57 people with a leader, they equaled what 110 people can do without a leader. That's why you are so important. To activate those mindsets, to activate those potential. How many squares? Come now. Come now. Think. Open your mind. Stop running your old programs. Come on. Show me you think. Come on. This is my most powerful entrepreneurial assessment. How did you get there? How did you get from 16 to 17? No. How did you get there here? You've got to change what you see. You've got to change how you think. You've got to change what you look at. Who's got 25 or less? Hands up. 25 or less. Who's got more than 25? Because of time, let me show you what it is. So how many squares are there? There are 30 squares. Most people will only see 16, maybe 17, or maybe 21. Most. My fear is more than 80% of people only see 16 when I do this in a workshop. And that's why we need leaders to change how we think. These are the top 20 qualities in a mindset that business says is vital. Do you know that if you have these qualities, you can be up to 7 times more valuable in your workplace and 8.4 times more valuable as a leader? Do you even think about these? When you do your assessment of people, do you assess their skills or do you also assess their mindsets? Maybe you've also got to look at it and say, what are the skills, what are the mindset qualities in my workplace? What are the mindset qualities in my development for my entrepreneurs? What are the ones? How do we develop those? Because everybody's focusing here, skills. That's not where your power is. Your power is here. Is your identity, your self-image, your programming, your beliefs, your attitudes. Everything here controls what happens up there. But we don't address that. And so our challenge is resources are dwindling. We need more resourceful people. And that's what the square shows me. Are you resourceful? Or do you run into old programs, old belief systems, old mindsets, old attitudes? And what's going to happen for us to be ready? You know, when that tsunami came, millions of people died. Hundreds of thousands of people died. It's unfortunate. We have the same thing happening in our global warming, in our youth unemployment, in the growth of the population in the country needing support, resources, services. So the question is, what kind of results are you really going to deliver when you walk out of here today? I challenge you to do something astounding. I challenge you to do something absolutely awesome and consider bringing your mindset away from the linear economy to a circular economy. Who's heard of circular economy? Not many. Go and do the research or talk to David or myself. This is one of the ways we can save our future. It's one. It's a potent one, but it needs a completely new mindset change. So you have choices. When you walk out of here, is do nothing, which most people are going to do. You can continue to play games and watch TV on the Time Vampire. You know, what's that thing on that you change the channel for the TV? No, it's an automatic income reducer. And most of you are going to go and play with your automatic income reducer when you go home. Or there's opportunity to get serious. And I'm hoping that you'll get serious with love. Because with power comes responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm hoping that you'll pick up that responsibility to take action. I have a statement that I do, which is my mission, my mandate, my destiny, cause and calling, is I create a world of more integrity, freedom, love, meaning, abundance, peace and joy. I think that's what the world needs. And I do that with workshops, coaching, training, talks and support for those who are ready. But you see, I think it's time for a new mindset, for new relationships, for new behaviors, for new everything, that we can create a sustainable and powerful today and a future that our children will be grateful for tomorrow. And they'll look back and thank us and say, thank you for being conscious, for being courageous and making hard choices but positive choices that built a foundation for us beyond just your own selfish greed. That in fact, you stood up and showed that you were a true, outstanding, exponential leader. Thank you.